Good morning and welcome to the show, and thanks for waking up with us today. I'm out here at MarineMax with Todd Hudgel. We're on this 27-foot Sea Ray SLX, which is just a beautiful boat.
This is a great boat, Don. Tons of room, very sporty. Lots of options and features. It's a fast, sporty boat. It's also very family friendly.
Yeah, it looks that way. Now, maybe you can describe some of the things that are going on over here.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm going to work our way back here, but I'm like, in case you want to wash up on the high seas, you're all set over here.
That's right. You got sink here, storage below.
Yeah, tons of storage. Look at all that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can get a refrigerator there also if you'd like.
That's what I would want. A little mini bar going in there, yeah.
Keep the wine and beer cold.
Yeah. Yep. And now over here, I guess you got your little command center, I suppose.
Absolutely. Stainless steel lighted LED switches. You've got remote for the stereo here. The main head unit is down there. Digital throttle and shift with the Mercury engine. It's just a great riding boat.
You know, I'm really liking a seat here where you can actually stand or sit. You know, so
this is a neat feature. The flip up bolsters.
I'm gonna try this out.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. Look at this. I could see myself cruising along on this thing, just like that. Yeah.
For years, us boaters, we stacked cushions under ourselves before people invented that. Yeah.
Well, I guess it's an idea whose time has come. Now, up front here, you've got this whole little bow rider area where people can kind of chill out. You've got some seats.
Lots of comfortable seating, storage, cup holders, stereo speakers. It's just, Sea Ray really thinks of everything when they do these boats.
Yeah, and one thing that really impressed me, Todd, was this head over here.
Oh, isn't it
now,
great?
This just looks like a console here, but you know, you open this thing up, you got yourself a bathroom down here.
Absolutely.
So, you know, that'd be nice for the ladies, you know,
oh,
I suppose.
Yeah,
you know?
And the children too.
Yeah. Well, us guys don't care. You know? But I could see that's a real nice way to, you know, you can stay out on the water. You don't have to look for a place to go if you have to go. Yeah.
Absolutely. Makes it very convenient.
Yeah. Now, is this more storage over here, Todd?
Absolutely. This door closes to give you extra wind protection.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Help extend your boating season.
And then we got something else going on here too. You got
down
storage
here,
below.
Lots more storage. Lots more storage. There's dedicated storage. There's cushions that fill this in and make this a whole bed. Dedicated storage for those. There's a table that goes either in the bow or the stern. Dedicated storage for that as well. So they really think of everything. They really do.
Todd, I know before we started rolling tape, we talked a little bit about the power plant.
Yes, we did.
What's going on with this engine? Maybe you can show me a little bit.
This thing is powered by a...
that would be right under here, right?
Yep. It is powered by an 8.2 liter Mercruiser Magnum engine, 380 propeller horsepower. For the gear heads, that's 502 cubic inches.
502.
That's a big block.
Yeah. And it says right on there, big block V8.
Absolutely. Electric actuating engine compartment hatch, tons of room down there as well. It's, like I said, Sea Ray really thinks of everything on these boats. Yeah.
Now, I'd like to get a look at the hull of this boat too. You know, I mean, what's going on down there? What makes this so different?
You know, Sea Ray, they spend a lot of time and energy designing really good hulls. They ride better than any other comparable model or brand. They ride quiet, smooth. In this boat, they've actually got new technology, new insulation to make the boat super quiet. Really, all you can hear is the wind and a little bit of the beautiful sound of that engine.
Yeah, and speaking of that beautiful engine, along with this beautiful hull, how fast could you go?
This is an easy 50-mile-an-hour boat loaded up.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Well, that's just amazing stuff, Todd. Thanks so much for showing me this Sea Ray here. If somebody's interested in taking a look at it or finding out more about it, what can they do?
They can reach us at MarineMax. We're here at 3605 Thomas Drive, Panama City Beach. Phone number is 850-708-1317. And they can find us on the web at marinemax.com/Panama City.
And as for Todd Hudgel, of course.
Please do.
Todd, thanks so much for showing us
around. Good to see you again, Don.
And we'll be right back after your Waking Up with Don weather. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Alan Graham from Counts Real Estate. And today we're going to talk about something that's important to all of us who own homes, and that's your survey. Alan Graham, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Good morning. Great to see you.
Always a pleasure to see you and learn about real estate.
It is. There's so many parts to a real estate transaction today that it's really necessary to have a professional that does this. There's your termite, your title insurance, your home warranty, and most important, your survey. And Your survey is the legal description of your property that's actually placed on a piece of paper as an artist rendition or a drawing, so that you can find out where your corner posts are and find out if there's any encroachments of other people on your property, or if there's any, if you've encroached on somebody else's property with a fence or a workshop in the back. And so it's very important.
You would get a survey done, or the builder or whomever would have a survey done. It's part of your transaction. Here's your survey, here's this plot of land that we're talking about. Now, would there be any other reason for you to go back and resurvey your property?
Yes, but going back to the survey portion of it, sometimes people will try to save money in a real estate transaction and use an old survey that was done 3 to 5 years ago. Sometimes those work. In a townhouse situation to where no additions or fences can be added, in a townhouse situation where it's just a legal description of the property and a definition of your box, that works. That's okay. But in a residential home ownership situation to where people can put man shed in the back or build them a workshop or a lawnmower thing, or where your neighbor decides to place a fence or you decide to place a fence, and that fence encroaches on somebody else's property, or let's say the fence encroached on your property, you go to sell it, your lender or your title company requires a brand new survey, and they find out that fence is now on your property. You've got to go next door and ask your neighbor to bear the expense of moving that fence.
Wow, and what if they don't want to do that? I mean, that turns into a big legal wrangle, I would imagine.
It does, and it slows up a closing, and that costs everybody money, and then you get attorneys involved, and then it really gets expensive. But the second side of a survey today, and why it's so important in Bay County, is the flood zones. FEMA has mandated that they go back and redefine the flood zones, and they're doing a better job of finding the little niche areas in Bay County that are low-lying, that flood during unusual rainstorms. And so another part of a survey would be an elevation certificate. That gives you how high your home is above the flood zone, or in the flood zone in some cases.
Now, just because you live in a neighborhood where I guess my question is, in the same neighborhood, you can have homes that are in a flood zone and homes that are not in a flood zone. Isn't that right?
That's a great observation. It all goes back to do with the elevation. You can buy a lot that is in a flood zone, but you can build your house out of the flood zone. You can either do it by putting it on pylons, you can do it by elevating the soil or building the blocks up and then pushing dirt up to make it appear that it's all one level land that just gently slopes up. But that elevation certificate, at one time it was based on the threshold of the front door, the elevation above the sea level of the front door. Now I think they require the whole structure to be out of that flood zone. If you do build in a flood zone and you want to be exempted from that flood insurance, there's a form with FEMA called a FEMA LOMA exemption, and you have to go through and submit that elevation certificate along with the survey to get exempted from that flood insurance, if that's your choice.
And just anecdotally, you know, in our last home, they told us we were not in a flood zone. I did not need flood insurance to purchase the house. And then Hurricane George rolled in and we had water right up to the front door. So we went out and we got flood insurance after that. So just because you're not in a flood zone doesn't mean you don't need flood insurance.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But going back to the survey, that survey will identify where that flood zone lies on your property, or even if you're in a flood zone. So that's why it's important for that survey. The legal description gives you the corners. They usually designate where your house is and any other structures. That cost is about $450 for a regular survey. The elevation certificate probably is another $150 on top of that.
But in the long run, Alan Graham from Counts Real Estate, it's worth the investment.
Absolutely.
To protect your property.
Absolutely.
Thank you again for coming on the show and getting us smart on surveys.
Thanks.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Allison Smith from Herb Effects and her sister. You're really not sisters.
Yeah, we'll go with
Karen
that.
Smith
We'll go with that.
from Beachy Beach Real Estate. Welcome back to the show,
Great,
both of you.
glad to be here.
We've had you on the show before, and of course you're our regular weekly showing us how to trim the hedges lady.
There you go.
Now, what are you both here for today? Now, you're not sisters, but you do have An unusual name.
Right, because
Smith.
there's so few Smiths out there. It's so rare.
You got an event coming up that you're promoting.
Yes. Celebrate the Arts.
Celebrate the Arts.
Yes. Benefits Beach Care Services. And I'll let Karen tell you all about it, but you have to really focus on the ones getting auctioned off.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Beach Care Services is a charity, I guess, on the beach that helps feed people. Is that?
Well, actually, a little bit of everything, but mostly what we do is we handle their short-term emergency needs. So if someone's lost a job, they need help with a medical bill or a power bill or anything like that, we help them out by giving them a little money to get them on the way, and also give them to other resources that they can have
and
to
this
get
is
that
a
help.
local charity, Panama City Beach, and that's where the money comes from. That's where the money goes.
100% goes back into the community.
And
100%.
you guys are raising some money.
We are raising some money, and we hope to raise a lot of money.
And
this
how are
year.
you going to raise the money? Tell me about the event.
We have Celebrate the Arts, which we started, gosh, almost 5 years ago. Roy Ure from Cerulean Interiors and myself at Beachy Beach Real Estate started it as our grand opening and made it a charitable event. And we decided, let's just make it big and bold. And it is an artist market. We have probably over 40 artists this year. We'll have a celebrity auction, which that's where Allison comes in. She will be auctioned off this year for a lunch date with Allison. So everybody bring your money.
Bring your money if you want a lunch date with Allison.
And we take credit cards now at Beach Care Services.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We've joined the century. It's awesome.
Yes.
But there'll be wine tasting. There'll be amazing art. We've got over $9,000 worth of donated items to raffle off. That's pretty amazing.
That is
And
amazing.
the art is fantastic. I mean, if you've never been before,
So-
it's so fun.
Amazing
It's
art.
You
great.
can go shop
Yeah.
for art. And there's that Harley
Yeah.
Davidson
Harley
out on the
Davidson.
beach,
And
right?
not just art, I mean, jewelry. I bought some fabulous bracelets last year.
These are
I
some
mean,
people
yeah, I
representing.
mean, jewelry, art, photographs, things that are made. It's not just.
So how do
Yeah.
do I have to get a ticket for this? Can I just show up? Or how
You
does all that
actually can
work?
just show up. You can just show up, and the only thing you have to pay for is the wine and cheese.
Okay.
And of course the artwork if you want to
If
buy
you
in
wanna buy it,
food.
right.
food.
Yeah.
But the actual event itself is absolutely free of charge. So it's a fun day. We've got kids events. We have something for everyone in the family.
You know, something about Harley Davidson. It's not only a cool place to hang out. They do a lot of charity work.
They do a
like this
ton
there.
of charity
I'll-
stuff. They really do.
I'll tell you what happened there. It was really awesome.
As does Beachy Beach and Herb Effects. I mean, you guys don't have to do this, right? I mean,
It's a great cause.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
great cause.
and somebody needs to.
It's kind of what we live
Yeah,
for.
I
We're
mean,
kind of volunteer
yeah.
junkies. We have
Yeah.
a problem.
yeah. Well,
I have a great magnet that somebody gave me that says "Stop me before I volunteer."
That's true too. It's like if you want to get something done, you give it to a busy person, and you're both busy with a lot of things with your respective businesses, and now with all these charities and stuff that you're involved in, you know.
Yeah, I want to give a little shout out to Marta Rose at Harley Davidson because what happened a few years ago, Roy and I would have this right outside our shop, his store and my real estate company, and we didn't have a lot of room. And she came to me and said, "Hey, listen, Harley Davidson would like to help you." And oh boy,
Yeah.
I mean, they just threw their heart and soul into it, and it's become huge. I mean, it went from raising $3,000 one year to $10,000. And this year we have to raise $20,000.
So you have a goal of $20,000 this
yes.
year. The date again is April what?
April 4th.
April 4th. Any particular time?
The event itself starts at 10, but the auction part starts at 2.
All right.
Yeah, so
So
be
if
there
you wanna,
with your money.
if you want to
Yes,
have lunch with
yes.
this lovely lady for a price,
Woo.
she can be purchased. But for charity only.
All right, all for a good cause. It's for the kids, people.
Yeah.
It's just for the kids.
Yeah, it is for the children, of course. and all the proceeds go to this very worthy charity,
All the proceeds do go to Beach Care Services.
Beach Care Services.
Have a great volunteer organization. The communities really come out to help us, and
So local
loaded up.
people, local charity,
I'll
helping
look
out
at it.
locals.
Locals helping locals. There you go.
Gotta love that. Thank you so much for ladies for coming on the show.
thanks for
and
having
doing
us.
this. And
Very
remember,
excited to be here.
call Beachy Beach and Herb Effects if you need stuff. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. If you have children, you definitely want to see this little segment because I've got Heather Ogilvy here in the studio today, and she works at the Panama City Beach Library, and she runs a program called Beach Kids. And welcome back to the show, Heather. It's so good to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's really nice to be here again.
Because the last time you were here, it was Beach Babies.
Book Babies.
Book Babies,
right.
I'm sorry.
Book
Book Babies. And now it's Beach Kids.
Now it's Beach Kids, yes. Well, we have lots of programs for little kids in the library. Story time's big, popular event. But we also want to maintain our connection with those kids as they get bigger. And so we have a regular after-school program, which is sort of a hangout time for anyone who wants to come to visit the library. Beach Kids is on Wednesdays at 3 o'clock, and people kind of come in and out until about 5.
Well, what happens at Beach Babies? What do you do? If I show up there after school
at Beach Kids,
or Beach Kids, rather.
We do a lot of stuff. I think our favorite thing to do is art, and so we pretty much always start with an art project.
I see you've got some beautiful art here.
I brought some samples. We have some really fabulous artists at the beach.
I like that this guy's got a little sword or something, yeah.
This is actually Harry Potter.
Oh, that's his wand.
And
gotcha.
when we have sophisticated artists who do sort of...
that's very abstract and nice.
And we start with an idea. For example, we had an idea for some really nice paper bag puppets. And this is how we modify paper bag puppets, so it becomes our own. We also do science. We have special guest stars. We had sensational science with Sam and made elephant toothpaste, which is a big foamy green thing that comes out of the bottle and goes all over the library.
Elephant toothpaste.
Yes.
Gotta love that.
And
kids must love that.
Oh
too.
yeah. We've had comic art instruction with very serious superhero drawing, and we've had freestyle painting T-shirts with guest artists, and in between we talk about books.
So let me see what's going on here. See if I got all this right. You know, the Panama City Beach actually has books, and it's not just spring break. And it's actually a community that has children that read books and go to after-school things.
We check out 3,000 children's books a month in our library, and we help with homework every day. So we do lots of bookish stuff at the library, and we have lots of avid readers. So
what a great resource. We have to run off to a break, but I want to talk about some more of the things that are going on at the library out there at Panama City Beach, and we'll talk more about Beach Kids. Beach Kids. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Heather Ogilvie from the Panama City Beach Library, and we're talking about Beach Kids, which is an after-school program for kids to stay in touch with the library. Because, you know, Heather, as we talked during the break, when my boys were little, my wife used to look for things to do with them during the day, and they used to go for story time at it was a Lynn Haven Library, which is very popular for young moms with little kids. But as the kids get older, the school age, this kind of keeps them in touch with the library, doesn't it?
Right. We want to maintain that connection because it can be so important. We had a boy come this week to the library who came to Beach Kids, and what he wanted to talk about was being bullied at school. And so we were able to make some art and find some books at the same time about bullying and talk about it, and also connect his mom with the conversation and
and other people
find some ways to cope and make some connections.
Particularly when you're a school-age kid, you know, other people are important. And if you're that kind of odd man out at school, you always have a place to go at the public library, especially with Beach Kids.
And you've always got a friend with a librarian, so it's pretty cool.
That's true. Librarians are cool people. They're very cool. And, you know, during spring break, do you have any of the older kids come in? Any spring breakers come to the library?
We have loads of spring breakers. They come in large groups, and they usually have a project that they need to work on. Sometimes they come for job interviews or school interviews that are happening during spring break, and they'll come in with their flip-flops and bathing suits on the bottom and a tie on the top and do a Skype interview in the library.
They come and use the computers?
Yeah, they come in and do a Skype interview with the flip-flops, and there are lots of things that they do at the library.
Actually, I'm wearing shorts and flip-flops now. No, not really.
So am I.
We just came from the beach. We're beach kids. Well, that's interesting. That you know, the very least you expect from your government is kind of, you know, libraries.
Right.
People love them. People don't mind paying for them because it is a resource for all ages.
It's a huge resource for our community, and a huge connection for all the people in the community. A place where we come together And we have lots of support from our community. We just received from the Panama City Beach Optimist Club $1,500 for a technology component to add to the Beach Kids program.
Oh, that's great.
So we're introducing, courtesy of our own community, we're introducing gaming and filmmaking.
Oh, how
So
cool is
really
that? Right
excited
there at the
about that.
library.
Yeah.
Now, if people want to learn more about Panama City Beach Library and Beach Kids, how do we do that?
Well, you can call our library. Of course, the first thing to do maybe would be visit the library. We're on Hutchison Boulevard in Panama City Beach at the corner of Hutchison and Lindell. We are available by telephone at 850-233-5055. Our website is www.nwrls.com.
Panama City Beach Library. All you really need to do is, it's a Google search away.
Right.
And it's actually not that far away. I mean, you
It's
could
not
just...
far away, and it's fun to visit.
Thank you so much, Helen Ogilvie, for everything you do for our kids and for our community.
Thanks
And
for having me.
You're certainly welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
And that'll be it for this show, and we'll see you next time.